Welcome back, everyone. Just less than 2 weeks away from the test date here. You guys have been working really hard, pushing really hard. This next week should be a pretty fun week for you. We're going a little bit lighter on some of the lighter exercises, a little bit lighter on some of the lighter days, but you still have an opportunity, a number of opportunities to go heavy, particularly in the snatch and clean and jerk will be towards the middle of the week. Toward the beginning of the week, you're going to have a heavy opportunity in the back squat. Finally, on the squats, you're going to see that we're only doing one per day. We've been doing back and front on the same day since the beginning of the cycle. So this week and next week, which will be the last competition week, just one, it's either a back squat or a front squat. Back squats this week, again, early in the week, you've got a heavy opportunity. Have fun with it, but definitely take it as it is. If you're feeling good, if you're feeling strong, load up more weight than you've ever had on the bar and get it done. If you need to hang back a little bit towards the lower end of those ranges, that's perfectly fine as well. You've been doing more than just squatting, meaning that you're not trying to peak specifically in the squat. You've got a lot of Olympic lifting and a lot of other exercises going along with it that are playing into how your body's feeling on any given day. So what we're trying to do by the end of the cycle is peak you for the snatch and clean and jerk as much as possible. Sometimes that means that you feel good in the squat 2 weeks out, for example, 3 weeks out, wherever that is, but don't worry too much about it. Wherever you're at right now, beginning of this week with that squat in particular, it's going to be okay. I think that most of you guys will be feeling pretty good and be able to load up some heavy weight on there. But if not, don't worry too much about it. Again, we are concerned with you being the best you can in the snatch and clean and jerk the last day of the cycle, okay? Biggest thing on the last heavy snatch and clean and jerk day in the middle of the week here, you're gonna see a range up to no more than 99%. That's very important for you to stay under. If you're feeling really good and you load up 99% and you hit 99% and you know that you can do more, you know that you can do a PR, you want to save it for that test day because there's a good chance that you're going to be feeling even better on that test day. And in fact, you have the best chance to feel the best that you possibly can in the lift the most that you can by holding back. Getting a PR at this point, this close to the test date, where it's going to be about a week and a half out, can definitely hinder your performance on that test date a little bit. Even if you're just doing a 1 kilo PR and it feels easy, you're still putting out extra effort, extra adrenaline. You know it's a PR. It's mentally and emotionally a little bit draining. So hang back a little bit there where it's written in there. Also, keep in mind, just like I talked about the squats, there's a range there, 85 to 99%, for example. If you need to hang back at the lower end of the range, that's perfectly fine as well. Read your body, put the weights on the bar, get the work in, but put the weights on the bar, leave the weights on the bar that you need that day. We need some reps at a minimum number there, 85%, and somewhere within if you can. But again, you're going to be much better off if you read your body and give it what it needs. It needs good quality movement, but a heavy weight at the same time. 85% is more than heavy enough to take you into where we need to be, all right? Also, those waves are very important, or up downs is what I like to call them, where you're hitting a heavy weight, coming down to 60 or 70%, going up to, sometimes 80% if I'm trying to get you used to that, or 90% or even above. So important to get those in as well, but keep in mind the rest on that 2 to 3 minutes is very important as well. It's a huge part of it because we're trying to train you. For those of you that are competing in a competition, we're trying to get you used to taking your competition attempt and then going back to the warm-up room and hitting another lift if you need to. What I recommend for athletes, most athletes in competition, is not resting any more than like 3 minutes at a time. Some athletes do well resting longer than that and just kind of waiting out however long they need to. But what I find for most people, and what I really believe is best physiologically for everyone, is to stay warmed up and wired in, just by at least hitting a light lift in the back room. And if it's a long weight, you might have to consider hitting a couple light weights that are spread out 2 to 3 minutes each, and then going up to, you know, a little bit of a heavier weight, something that's closer to the weight that you're going to be taking on competition. But that's kind of the purpose in those up downs and those waves, and it's really important to keep the proper rest in there. We also do a lot of other exercises in workouts where you're hitting heavy weights every 30 seconds or every 45 seconds or every minute on the minute, and that will help prepare you for those competitions where you're following yourself, where you don't have very much rest at all, or if something happens in the competition and you got to go a little quicker than you think. Maybe you just took your last warm-up attempt and there's been some changes up there at the cards table and all of a sudden you got to go out. That's happened to me a number of times. It happens to, you know, athletes that I help and that I watch at competition a lot. You know, whatever happens at competition, we want you to be ready. And in any case, these are just really good training principles as well, to kind of stimulate your body in different ways, give your body that different challenge to help you get stronger and better at the lifts. That's all we have for this week. Guys, I'll definitely be back next week to talk you through the final week. Have fun this week, and we'll see you then.